What's up, YouTubes? How's it going? How's it going? Got some people trolling me, so I just figured I want to show them exactly what they're failing at. Okay, so you guys see my bass here? This is the newest version of Icebreaker. Do you guys see the bass here? Do you see any similarities, maybe? You know, my old Heartbreaker from back in January 9, 2014, and even earlier than that. Yep, even earlier than that, I was using this bass setup. Why? Because it was actually pretty cool. There were some advantages to this bass. Back in the day, everyone was using a corner setup with like these really long arms that would stretch out from here all the way up to like there, and from here all the way out to there, there'd be like really long arms. I unfortunately wasn't only like a town hall something. I think, what is it, 15? I think it was a 15? Nope, 14. I was a town hall 14 at the time. Dun, 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 dun. I was not max level just yet, but I wanted the benefits of a corner bass. That was awesome. So what did I do? I set out to be able to place some bombs here, or if I moved the arrow tower forward, behind it. I also made it so it was a trap for them, so any things that were trying to target this tower had to run around and smack into this wall. Now, there were some problems with that at the time. As soon as one of your heroes started attacking them, someone that was attacking a wall, they would switch back and attack your hero. But that wasn't really a problem, since all my heroes would then be swarming right to that hero to attack it. So that wasn't too big of a deal. So the biggest thing about this bass is my spear mage could fly over here to the edge and not actually go right super close to the edge, but close enough. Sometimes she'd pull aggro through. Very random, but it could happen. And really get a ton of shots off on the dino. Dino would be destroyed by the time Dino even made it up here, because we would have all this extra time attacking Dino. Does anyone see a similarity over here? Maybe? Maybe? All right. Maybe. All right. And so let's take a look at the innards of the bass. Let's take a look at, here's my bass right now. And let's take a look at the bass here. Oh, old. What's this? Is this a guild hall? Huh. That looks like a guild hall too. Huh. Just higher level. Strange. Okay, so let's take a quick peek over here. A hero base, a hero base, a hero base, a hero base, and a hero base. A hero base, a hero base, a hero base, a hero base, and wait, is that another hero base? Does that look the same as that? Huh. Strange. It's almost like I had this base a year ago. Huh. Maybe. Who knows? All right, so let's take a quick peek around. Oh, well, it's got these lane things. Well, it's got the lane things again. Huh. Strange. I wonder if there's a reason for that. I probably did that for no reason at all, right? These lanes do jack diddly squat. This did nothing for me back in the day. Didn't help me whatsoever. Wrong answer. It helped me a ton. Okay, so take a quick peek over here. So these particular heroes, anything that's ranged, would actually get up right here in the corner and act like a turret and shoot as it goes through. Same thing here. Shoots as it goes through. Oh, look, it's got a very teeny tiny wall and it goes up there. Oh, look. Oh, okay. It looks very similar, doesn't it? Strange. Never know how I thought of doing that. Maybe I thought of doing that like a year ago. Strange. Who knew? Okay, so this trimming of the corner in the front. I probably did in this video too, didn't I? Yep. So I'll take a peeky over there somewhere where when stuff has died. Oh well. Probably you'll see it right there. You can see the little corner tip there. Okay, so then came the future. I wanted to redo my heart bass and do it with a hat this time, because at the time I only had a Town Hall 14. You only had so many walls back in the day. Do you know why I picked the core of this bass? Why the core of the bass I loved It was extremely powerful. The way that it was so close to the towers, the way that it was so close to the guild hall. I used this forever and a day ago. And look, I'm using it yet again. When I said I was going to do my heart base again with something on top, I did exactly that. I did exactly that. So let's take a look. I was talking about doing it for a while. Once the corner bases came back in fashion, in my videos I was saying I was going to be doing a heart base again. And I said that I was going to be doing something extra, making it so there's more walls to it for the Town Hall 20 version of it. So when I first started making it, let's take a quick peek. This is what first got me interested in doing the Town Hall 20. So let's take a quick look. What do we see? The 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, that was the same as that, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It just added something over here and removed this space. Well, that was pretty familiar to me. So I could run with that quite easily. This space here basically gave me the feeling that the heart base would be good again, that it would work yet again. Tufrogy was actually the person that did this base design. And, you know, kudos to him. It's very similar to the heart design, and that's why I liked it. I liked the idea of it. I thought that they were lacking something. Now, this was back in January 22nd. When I saw this video, and this person was doing it earlier than January 22nd. This person was doing it quite a bit earlier than that. The corner base was popular once people started getting up to S. It started really getting back into popularity, R and S. The corner bases came back in popularity. And take a look. Man, it felt really reminiscent of my old heart base. I was like, oh, my heart. Take a look at the guts here. You see the guts? The 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, then something stuck in the corner and stuff wrapped around the front. Ta-da! So this was back in January, started giving me the ideas. I started actually doing little setups on my alts for the corner base to see what would work and what wouldn't. And I gave a few a try, and I tried it with one wall. One wall sucks, so one wall, bad idea. 2 walls, bad idea. 3 walls, good idea. And basically that turned out to be the same thing as a diamond. So if any of you guys saw diamonds, you know what the diamonds look like. A lot of the diamonds were dot and dot dot. Well, ta-da! All you had to do is make a diamond with one part larger, one part smaller. This one, too small. Too small for my liking, at least. I feel like he could have extended that. That Frog could have done a little better job, little bit more extension, a little bit more. Now, I don't know if Tufrogy was the first one to come up with this design, but I know this is the first person that I saw that had it that gave me an idea. Like, oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff indeed. And so this person, because I do watch Blue-Panda, you know, I watch Blue-Panda because, you know, I like him for some reason. So when I first saw this was because of Blue-Panda, and I saw this person's base design. I don't know if it was his or someone else's, but this person here is the reason why I got inspired to build heart again with a hat. Bigger hat, but a hat nonetheless. So I did build heart with a hat. So let's take a quick peek at heart with a hat. So this is when I was about finished building heart with a hat. Well, let's take a quick look. Here's the new heart with a hat. You know, Heartbreaker is what I called it at the time. So let's take a quick look at Heartbreaker over here. Okay, looks very similar. In fact, pretty much all the wall spacings are the same. I did remove... Let's take a quick look. I did remove the walls here. I did actually initially put the walls there, but I decided against that. So let me show you where I had the walls. I initially was going to have the walls there, but decided against that and put them there instead. So let's go back to where then I decided to start building the hat. So you can see that over here, we started building a hat to it. I figured all we need is enough space for 3 walls and the town hall, because it took 3 walls at least for the town hall to not be breakable. So basically I saved all my walls up, so I basically just used the heart design. So this is the exact same heart design as you saw earlier, just missing the walls from here. Take note of that, missing the walls from there. I did also leave out, because I was planning on to just 4-man it, so I was leaving out 2 hero bases, which then gave me more space to throw additional crud in here and bombs, because I was 4-manning. And 4-manning was my big thing, and it still is my big thing. You guys know this because you guys have seen me. I like to 4-man. So I was also testing this out on my Smurf account, Solid Waste. Why? Because I need to test it to make sure it works and to get it right. So I was testing with 1 wall, with 2 walls, with 3 walls in the back. And it turns out 3 walls is all that could work. You needed 3 walls thick around this portion. So it was very similar to that of a diamond base. So if you had a miniature diamond base, because you had a lower level town hall, it would be very similar to that for the back end. But for the front end, it was much thicker. It was thick and fat. But we'll come back to this. So let's take a quick peek. So I built that base, got it going, and we were able to 4-man P. Yay. Oh, no. Where is it? Come on. There we go. So I was able, why is it not? It's going back to the initial picture. You'd think it'd be, so I did it there. Oh, come on. Oh, it's taking a while to load, that's why. All right, so you can see I was then able to beat P with the heart breaker with a hat. Heartbreaker with a hat. Okay. So there was a problem with the Heartbreaker. You can see some of my heroes were deciding to hop out right here. Melee, to be more specific. Also, my ranged. There was a problem that I realized. Heroes, as soon as they came up this way, our guys would hop out and start running towards them. Now, this wasn't a problem with the initial Heartbreaker because my hero bases were lower level. So what did I do to fix that? Not saying that it was bad. It still worked. I was still able to farm 4-man P. I was still actually able to do fairly good. I believe I got like 8 out of 9 kills, which is, still fine. But I did see my 1 loss was due to my heroes hopping out. So then I remembered what initially made me want to go back to doing the corner setup. So, do you remember? We just talked about it. We just did. What was it? Well, that was right. Tufrogy. If this person is the first that came up with that, they are the ones who inspired me to do what I did. I just figured that they needed a better butt. Their butt was not good enough. So, if you can see, the inner base was the similar, just flipped. So, if you flip it upside down and put it on the other corner, it's very similar. Had the stuff in the corner, had the arrows around, and you had everything wrapping around the core of the base, which is basically these 4 heroes here. So I did the exact same thing then. The exact same thing. So I made some additional modifications to Heartbreaker. I started trimming bits. So you see I trimmed there, I trimmed there. I started extending lanes, making it go out further, but I was still having a problem. The problem was sometimes heroes would hop out a little bit from these 4 heroes. Now these 4 heroes are still what I was using to 4-man because I was really into 4-manning. So 4-man. So, and 4-man it was working. 5-man, 6-man, it was working okay too. But I did remember that the initial base design had it closer and had this stuff up here. So all this junk in the front should be junk in the trunk instead. So I started moving this stuff around, and I was doing this earlier on my Smurf account. So let's take a quick peek. What I did then is all I did is extend this, because you know where I was having the problem? Take a look. I was having problems from heroes hopping out right here. Now, some of you might know why the heroes were hopping out, and we'll discuss this later. And when you watch this in full, you'll understand it in full as well, too. So we did this to extend it further to then have the heroes more running room. So we basically pushed the stuff from the inside out. So we started taking chunks from here and putting them on the outside. That's all we did. That's the inside stayed the same, and we just pushed stuff to the outside. So take a look. We push stuff to the outside, and you can see, you can come over here and take a look at this video yourself. It's on my channel. And then it looked like this when we pushed the stuff to the outside. Now we put the zap towers more around the edges, and we put the town hall right here. Now that was more inspired by this. You can see that did inspire me to go back to more of the original setup, to have the walls removed from here, and to basically have a town wall smack dab right there. So that's what inspired me to put the town hall there. Also as a lightning, to have the lightnings hit up there. And that worked quite well for the lightnings to strike there. That was quite good indeed. Now, I did disagree with the back of their base. I always thought the town hall should go right smack dab in the center, like it was with my old one. I like the guild hall. Yeah. Guild hall, right there. There you go. That's where you belong. And I think they did that wrong. I believe they should have had the guild hall there, and I believe they should have had a longer butt of the base. There should have been more to the walls in the back. But you can see that where I started trimming the walls and where I started getting the idea from trimming the walls and extending was from this person. So trimming walls is a good thing. If I know I can trim walls, I'm going to trim the heck out of them. I'm going to find every single spot that I can to trim them, and I'm going to trim away. And I did. And that's how I came up with then more of this design, which you can see looks very similar to this design. So this person gets some credit because, you know, they led me in the right direction. But there's problems. Dun, 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 dun. The old problem, the reason why I moved that stuff out, because the heroes were hopping the walls there, still existed with this. The hero here, the hero here, the hero here, the hero here, and the hero here still decide to hop the wall right here. Right here. They would still decide to hop the wall. Right in the corner over there. And hopping the wall created problems. So this problem that took place, let me just quick swap back of there. So I mean your window key. So that problem we addressed. And that problem we addressed by then doing the next iteration of the base. So this is the reason why we did that, which, you know, pretty much this, you know, just the heart design just extended there. That's all. That's all that happened there was just putting that out because the heroes were hopping the walls. But they were still hopping the walls when I extended it. So then what happened next? I decided to do bumpers because that would stop them from hopping the walls. And it did. It actually did. These bumpers did a great, fantastic job. Fantastic job of stopping anyone from hopping the walls to leave the base. Now, then from that, I didn't need all this extra stuff, so I trimmed it back down. And then pretty much just wound up with this. So back to very being similar to our original base. So let's take a quick look at our original base here. The Heartbreaker from back in the day. Does this and this look similar? Do we see why I went from, with inspiration of this, to this, to this? Well, actually, there was another iteration from there. It went from there to there, from this particular iteration to this iteration to this one. And this on the outside looks similar to this on the outside for a reason, and a little bit on the inside as well. But that inside also looks the same as this inside. Rah. Someone thinks putting hats on a corner base is their original idea. It's not. It really is not. So, this person gave me the idea for what I did. So, basically, I watch Blue-Panda. Blue-Panda likes looking at base designs and doing base designs. So do I. So, what did I do? This one gave me the most inspiration. Then went from this to this. Well, not just that. Extended further to this. Well, god dang it. Just pause it somewhere useful. All right, play. Well, you can see that. There you go. The inside's that. To then this. And this was to basically get rid of that same problem, the bumpers. The bumpers were needed to stop them from hopping the walls. The extension was needed to stop them from hopping the walls. The inside of the base hasn't changed that much whatsoever. The inside of the base has remained fairly dang similar each and every single time. The only thing we did was extend the base a little bit to make sure they didn't hop the walls because they were having a problem. But they were still having a problem of hopping the walls when we extended it. So we built these bumpers. And these bumpers actually did fix that problem. They didn't hop the walls as much because when there was a spawn over here or spawn over there, that sort of actually fixed the problem. Yes. Specifically, if you have ranged. I have mostly ranged in my base. Melee will still decide to hop the wall. So, let's take a quick peek over here. So, the reason why we have this, it looks exactly similar to our old heart base. Dun, 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 dun. So, there we go. So let's click back over here to our old heart base. You can see the pathing was to take advantage of the heroes being able to see them before they can get to us. So they're going to try and attack these things before they ever get to us. And you can see that's the same thing here. I would get to use the advantage of having Druid come over here in the corner and basically be a turret. And shoot, 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 shoot. And it remains the same now to this day. From Heartbreaker to Icebreaker. It looks... Can someone tell me that it doesn't look the same? Take a look at it, please. Someone's trying to say that they came up with this idea. They did not. They really did not. And they were not the first one to come up with the idea of putting a hat on the base. By far. Many people were already doing it. So let's take a quick look from the person that did mostly influence me. This person. This Tufrogy person. Now, I don't know if this Tufrogy person is the first person to come up with this base setup. Maybe someone came up with it sooner than him. But this is posted on January 22nd, 2015. This is what influenced my decision, my base building. I did think that Tufrogy made some design choices that were wrong, which I changed. I did think that his butt needed to be bigger butt. I do believe that also I wouldn't have put a Zappy Tower in the corner. I'd put this in the corner. But, you know, those are my preferences. And that's how I designed the base that I designed. So let's take a quick peek. I also make sure the front ones sort of target here so they go in. That's just sort of what I like doing. I like them going to the front and not to the side because I want them to attack right here right away. That's just my design logic and what I went for and how I like it. All right. So you saw how it went from the Heartbreaker with basically just a hat on it. Now, take a while look at the Heartbreaker video, and this is how this whole entire rant got started. Someone posted on my Heartbreaker video and said that I stole the Heartbreaker setup, this one right here, from them. All right. Well, no. If you take a look at it, the Heartbreaker looks quite a bit like the initial one right there, the initial Heartbreaker. In fact, in the video, you can see me use the old Heartbreaker like in its completeness and then move stuff around to make it work. And I was stating for specifically a long period of time in advance that I would be using the Heartbreaker corner setup again, and that I'd be doing something to the top of the base. I stated what I was going to be doing for a while before I even did it. Everyone knew corner bases were going to be popular. People were already putting a hat on corner bases. People were already doing diamond designs. This is not new stuff. This is not new. It really is not. This heart is old. This cap here, other people have done it. I mean, people have put walls in the back in the day. Back in the old Here Be Monsters, before any of these new ways of Here Be Monsters, people put walls in the back. This is not a new concept. Not. It's really not. I'd love to say it is, that I was the first one to put walls at the back of the base. No, I'm not. But I'm first one to try and abuse the heck out of the pathing. And that's exactly what I've done here. Exactly why I went from the heart base to this one to inspire me to then do my heart base with a hat. I did my heart base with a hat. I found a problem with the heart base, that they would hop the walls. I solved it by trying to extend it, but that did not solve it. The problem still existed, that they would hop the walls. I came up with the bumper idea. And with the bumper idea, that then reduced the risk of them hopping the walls. So then I went back to the heart setup with bumpers. Now, the person that says I'm stealing from them, let's take a quick peek. So, this person here says I'm stealing from them. And let's take a quick peek. So, they say I stole from them, and that's why this person over here commented on my video. Let's see, it'd be this one is my video. And they commented right here. This form takes me to nowhere. It just says something about, so whatever. They posted on February 19th. So let's take a quick peek and see what happened and what theirs is and what ours looks like. And see if really it was them or not. Well, it's not the same on the inside. On the back, it's a little similar. On the sides, it's really not. Mine's specifically one lane longer, but it's similar enough. I'll give him that. But it's not the same. Specifically at the back of his base, mine in that original one, let's take a quick peek, had a ton, 3 walls thick. Why? I was testing it in advance of using it. 1 wall doesn't work. 2 wall doesn't work. 3 walls does work. I was testing this for a while on my Smurf to try and get the amount of walls right. 3 walls is right. And then I was even able to trim it back further to get this kind of setup later on. So, let's take a quick peek still. So, They believe that maybe it's the innards of the base. Well, let's take a look at the innards of the base. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Oh, that looks very similar to my heart one from way back when. Well, let's take a look at the arrow towers. Well, damn it. That looks like mine from way back when. Well, let's take a look at the path there. Well, that looks like mine from way back when as well. Okay. So what we've got here is basically a corner base. Now, a lot of corner bases are very similar. And so his has the same problems that mine has. His also has additional problems that he put this base really close to here, which means they're going to attack right through there right away. So mine did not have that problem. So right there, there's a 1 space on it. And I had even more buildings packed in. Let's see, he had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had more bases packed in there than he does, but that doesn't matter. The core of the base looks like the core of this base from a long time ago. The pathing, similar enough, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't give credit to either. So that credit doesn't go to either. The back, his back doesn't work. It only has 2. Someone, please do give this a test right now and see if 2 pieces on the back work or not. I can tell you it doesn't because I was testing for a while in advance before I used this particular version. I knew that 3 was needed in back for it to work. And what made it even better is putting this in the back and not having the town hall anywhere in your base because you get lightning strikes. So putting this in the back like it used to be is better. Like how my town hall used to be and how my guild hall used to be was better. The old way was better. So what do you see me using my new version? My old way. It looks very similar to my old way. Thank you. Please take a look. Does this and this look similar? How this look? How this look? You see the gap there? You see the gap there? Yup, it looks similar. Now zigzags. Is that the first person to come up with zigzags? Really? Zigzags. I use zigzags pretty much in every single base I've ever freaking done. But I wasn't the first person to come up with the zigzags either. I believe Leroy might have, or someone else might have, but zigzags is not a new concept. It really is not. Putting something on the top of the base is not a new concept. It really is not. So, let's take a quick peek at other things. So, that's similar, but it's really not the same. So, they believe this, and that was something I used for what? How many days did I use that design? Because it created problems that I was trying to fix. So if you remember correctly from back here, I was trying to fix the problem of them hopping out the base, and the way I did that is by extending this to be more like his, to have longer bits there. So I used more of this person's idea to get me going in that direction, which then led me to something more like this, which looks, if you take a look at how I've trimmed the walls and how the stuff is, it looks very similar to what? This! Blue-Panda put me on the path by watching Tufrogy. And I don't know if this person was the first person to come up with this setup either. But this is basically how things went. So, this base needed somehow to address the problem with the ranged heroes hopping out the base. And melee heroes hopping out the base. And this is just for 4-man. I'm only thinking about formatting. I'm not even caring about 6-manning. For the most part, I've been formatting just about everything. If you look at my videos, that's just what I've been doing. But when I made the modifications, I made the modification over here. So I extended this a bit more. And that created some of its own problems. So that helped a little bit with the spacing issue. But there was still an issue that my heroes would hop here. Even my ranged heroes, even Druid, even those, they would still hop out. So the only fix that I could come up with it, after even then extending the corners like I did there, extending the bits out, and making the icebreaker variant of it. That's how I made it to here. Even after doing that, it still had a problem. The same exact problem was still happening, where Druid would hop the wall and get the heck out. Druid should not do that. So we did this. This fixed the problem. This right here fixed the problem. So you can take a look that from February 27th to March 5th, actually a little bit earlier than March 5th, I solved that problem because I was testing on my alt for longer than that. That solved the problem with the heroes here hopping the heck out. Then I went to the version 3 of the base. The version 3 of the base went where I could suck it back in. Go right back to the heart. And right there, and right there, you can see the heart is back and alive. The heart with a hat. The inside of the base, the hero base placement, is almost exactly the same as this. The lane right here is almost the exactly same as this, except with the zigzag. Oh my God. That guy must have been the first person to think of a zigzag. I'm telling you, he's spot on. He thought of using a zigzag. He's the first person ever to think of a zigzag. Wait. Check this out. He's probably the first person ever to think of putting something in the back of the base, right? Nope. He didn't even do it right. Plus, my Smurf was doing that in advance testing it. You need at least 3 bases thick. At least 3, and at least 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, they will break through the wall. Now, if you don't believe me, please go ahead and test that and see if that even works. If that even works. If they get a spawn right here, I can guarantee you they're going to break through. Because I tested so many iterations of this right over here to know that I needed 3 walls thick for it to work. I tested for so long to make sure that that worked. And this is more of a diamond base. If you can basically see, this is a stupid diamond with a lower level diamond and a higher level diamond smushed together. Someone tried saying that, and what I will give them is it looks similar, but it is different. And it's different for the exact reasons about showing. I can explain each step that I did and all the testing that I did in between to get to each of those steps. How I got from this base to this base. I can show each and every single step that I took to get to here. Also, on my videos, I stated specifically, since corner bases became popular, that I was going to use my old Heartbreaker and put something on the top of it. The person who really pushed me in that direction was Blue-Panda. But Blue-Panda wasn't the person who initially had the base. Blue-Panda was looking at this person. Now, if this person, this Tufrogy person, is the same as this person, well, then I'd agree with them. They did have influence in me making my base design. But from what I can tell, and I just looked at this person's other posts, no, they're not one and the same. Their name is different. So, yeah. Let's take a quick peek. Ace out or whatever. I think that's Ace out. A-C-E-O-U-T. It's very small, but it does not look like this person. Now, I took a look at this other person's base to see if they were legit. Maybe this person came up with that idea long time ago. Maybe he came up with the hood idea long time ago. I took a look at his other base designs from earlier. Around that same time, he was using a box design instead. So let's try and take a quick peek. So round 2. So here's where he started doing some bits. 217 is where he started doing some corner bits. So I clicked on that today because I want to try and see if he had this earlier. But this is the earliest I could see that he was starting to use a corner base. So let's take a quick peek at that. So here's where he started to do something like that. That's what started him down that path for using a hood. But it's interesting, but I believe they would attack through to get there, so that had its own risk. But that's the soonest that he started doing that, which is on, what date is that? 2/17. This is from January 22nd. So it looks like this person was doing that first. I looked at this person's earlier posts. I tried taking a peek to see if there's anything in January that he was doing. So back in so here's him farming on 2.5. Let's take a quick peek. He might have had something similar to that going on. So back in 2.5, he was using a base that was on this side. Okay, so he was not using a he wasn't not using a corner base with a hat way back when. This person still had it earlier. So let's take a quick peek to see if maybe earlier, maybe even earlier, maybe it was just an earlier time. Maybe we're not giving him enough credit. Maybe he had it earlier. So let's take a quick peek. Maybe it was even earlier. So back in March. I'm not seeing anything here. Where's the base design? He had some sort of a base design here. I got work soon. So he had some kind of base design here somewhere. Where is he? Nope. Too far back. We're looking for January. Oh, he doesn't have any posts in January. Shucks. So I don't see any posts from January, and this post is the one that influenced me the most. So if anyone wants to know who influenced me and where I got my ideas from that started to make me go down my crazy paths that I was going, right here. Blue-Panda gave me the idea by looking at this person's base right here from back in January. And that's when I started testing out corner stuff, because I was like, oh, gotta make it work. And I was failing. The first success was this. And what made it more of a success was the 3-wall thick was needed. This person, if you want to take a quick peek and build his base, please do. If you get attacked in the corner, let me know what happens in the comments below, because I know what happens. Because I was testing it for a good chunk of time before that. So, sorry, dude. Sorry. You're gonna figure it out. So now, the only person that, you know, if they're going to get credit for helping influence my base design is this person. This person was also using a very similar inside to what I was used to using. So if you take a look, if you just flip this upside down, you could fit the town hall right there. Just remove the walls, put the town hall right there, and you take a look, and it's pretty much the same kind of thing from this to this. So I was very familiar already with the inside guts of that. His corner bits is what then helped me get to that next problem. So he is the one who helped me solve the problem of them hopping the wall by extending it out further, but that didn't fix it fully. It only reduced it. It did not fix it fully. This fixed it, but not fully. It made it better, but it fixed it a ton, putting those bumpers there. And then ultimately, what did the best was this. Trimming it back to the heart design. So back to the original heart setup and layout. See the inside? See the inside? See the tunnel? See the tunnel? Oh God, my God, it's very similar to what I had long time ago. Long time ago. So if you want to say you took this, that I took this off you, go right ahead. You can do that. Go right ahead. But the person that gave me the most influence was this person right here. So the people that should get congrats for influencing me, Blue-Panda for pointing me to this person. Now, I do not know if this is the first person who came up with this layout. I don't know. I never looked into it because it was an inspiration for me. It wasn't what I didn't like copy his base completely bit for bit. This is what inspired me. That's all. So, lulz. He had the top. He had the inner base that I was used to. And he was trimming walls. He's the one who made me think of trimming more walls. I did that. I trimmed even more. And ta-da, that's where it wound up. So if you can sort of follow the iterations through, you'll see why the decisions I made, the decisions that I did, specifically for formatting. And what is this base here still particularly good at? Can someone tell me? That's right, formatting. Oh. And for the people that wonder if there's like an old version of my base, yes, Heartbreaker. So it went from this to this to this to this to this and to this, all within a few days period of time. Now I can show step by step by step by step by step why I went from what part of my base to what part of my base to what part of my base. I can show the people that influenced me from back in January. So, sorry, dude. You didn't influence me. Sorry. Someone's trying to troll me. What the heck? So went over to their chat and basically they said they were going to troll me. But if you were a person who watched my videos, you would know that I was planning on using the Heartbreaker design, because I said it multiple times that I would use my old heart base. That I was going back to my old heart base. And I did! Does this not look like my old heart base? Seriously. There's the old heart base. There's the old heart base. There's the change that I made to it. There's the old heart base. I extended the bits there on each end. That's all I did was extend a little bit here, there, extend a little bit there. That's literally the change that I made to it. That's really all I did to the base. That's all I changed it up. Anything believes that change, then that if you would been, if someone was looking at my Smurf account around that time period, most likely I would already have something looking like this because I test the stuff on my Smurf account. I'm not saying that he took it from me because a lot of people were already doing a hat kind of design. A lot of people were already doing a corner base design. A lot of people were already using this inner base. This inner base is used in the vast majority of corner bases right now. I'm not saying that it's new and complex, that he thought of putting bases around your hero bases. Towers around hero bases. Oh my God, he must have been the first one to come up with that. Nope. I'm not saying that I'm the first person to come up with zigzags. Zigzags? Zigzags, just about everyone does them. In any base design they do. Okay. All right, so we can see each and every single iteration as it comes along. I used this one for what? A few days before it moved to this? Because I moved it to this to solve a particular problem because that was happening with this. The problem that was happening with this, they were hopping out, the heroes. The ranged heroes should not hop out. That's not what you want. The same thing was happening with this. The ranged heroes were hopping out. You do not want that. And this one, the ranged heroes stopped hopping out. Ta-da! That was the solution. Bumpers! And then, what came out of the ultimately? Dun, 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 this. Which looks very similar to what? This. People. Trolling me. Take a look. This and this. And you can see each and every single step that I made from there to 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 here. And if anything, that person, whoever heck this person is, if they really want to say something, this Insta-Karma, they should really be thanking this person right here. Now, if Insta-Karma is this person, well, then congrats. I did use you. You did influence my design. This person, if you are Insta-Karma, then yes, you did influence my base design. If you're not, you did not. I'm sorry. Each one of my steps is documented there. And if you watch the videos, I talk about what I was doing at each step and what kind of problem that I was having and what I did to fix it. So this particular base, I was having a problem, once again, hopping out. But I love this base because it gave me so much time for Santa here in the corner to plug away at them. He was just like wrecking them. And look what I came back to. I came back to it again and again and again. So what does it look like? So you can see this right here. Looks like this right here, pretty much. I pretty much then just trimmed as much as I possibly could from the walls to get what it is today. And this is my original Heartbreaker, and all I said I was going to do is put something on top. Well, put something on top wasn't the only thing that was required to fix it. Bumpers were required as well, and these little legs. These little legs pretend like this is actually a 6-wall base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It pretends like this segment from here to here is 6 walls. The heroes treat it like it's a 6-wall thick base. They will go around, down, through the tunnel, which is the best part. The reason why I put this here is because, once again, the ranged heroes would hop the base. So every single bit of this base was to keep my heroes within the base. Every change that I made was to keep all my ranged inside the base and make sure they don't hop the walls. Every single change that I made. So when I changed to this and I realized that I had some problems, that my heroes were hopping, I fixed it. Now this is not a problem if you have lower level hero bases. That's not a problem. So I went from that to then this to try and address that, to give my heroes more space in here to shoot. That did a little bit better job. Then I stretched it even further. And when I stretched it even further, it went to this. And then I figured out, even with stretching it, there was still a problem. The range still liked hopping the walls out here, which was stupid range. Then made me have to do the bumpers. The bumpers fixed the problem. And then what did I do? I went back to the heart. That is literally the progression that I took to get to here. The person who influenced me the most, there are a few people that influenced me. Leroy influenced me, as well as there was the initial corner base builder guy way back when. He was like the first one to do a corner base. He influenced me. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I suck with names. And also, Blue-Panda influenced me, but not directly influenced me, indirectly influenced me by showing me this person. Now, like I said, I don't know if this person was the first person to come up with this base or not, but this is what started me down all the iterations that I did. Why? Because it was very similar to me. It had a very similar core setup as my initial heart base forever ago. Some people think it's unique to put a hat on the end. It's not. It was done back in the day. I'm going to try and actually look for some videos to see where some people used some walls in the back initially, back when there was just A through G, or not A through J, sorry, A through J. Back initially, A through J, people were already doing stuff with a hat in the back. That's not a new concept. This person is the person that led me in the right direction. Led me in the right direction for the front, led me in the right direction for the mid, and potentially for the back, but there was a lot of change into that back that was needed. This back was not good. But I do not know if this person was the first one to come up with it. Now, if this person here, whatever the heck their name is again, Instakarma, if you can show that you had something before January 22nd, because here's the inside of the base, you can see the then stuff in front, you can see the stuff in back, you can see the hat in back. This person is the one that influenced me. The inside hero bases, everything, this is what influenced me the most. This person right here. This was back in January 22nd. If you posted something, or if you're this person, if this is you, then yes, you do deserve credit. You did influence me. If this is not you, no, you didn't influence me. Sorry. I only actually made it onto these forums. This is like my first post ever on the forum responding to this. Like, no, I made this base forever ago. This corner base, it's been forever. This is the first post I ever made on IGG's forums. I just signed up for IGG's forums because I never ever made a post on it before. Yeah. Never ever made a post on it before. First post ever. Congrats on making me post over here. Because you thought that you did or influenced me. Sorry, you didn't. This person did. But, you know, it is what it is. I can see how you took your path to get there. Because you had sort of like a snake inside design. Because was now I had to like go through and make sure that you didn't have anything earlier. This is the earliest one that I could see that you did with a corner base with something in the back. Once again, 2 walls thick, they will break through. So, sorry, 3 walls thick is what's needed. So if anyone uses this, you need 3 walls in the back, and you can most likely trim walls from right here. So, if you think he was the first person, well, let's see. His earliest one was 217 for a corner base with a hat. His was 217. This person was January 22nd, if not earlier. This is just when I first saw it and when I first started going down that path. This is what led me down that path. I don't know what led him down that path, but this person is what led me down the path. This person right here. See how the bases are wrapped around the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very similar to what I was used to right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the corner, with the stuff in front. Very similar to what I was used to. Heck, I don't know. Maybe I was the first one to come up with that. I have no clue. But I had this kind of set up a year ago. A year ago. I was exploiting these lanes a year ago. I'm exploiting these lanes again a year later to even more effect. I'm exploiting it by elongating here, making them go through here, making them zigzag through here. Initially, I was just trying to do the exploit of the heart on the side, but I was having a problem because my hero bases were so high that my heroes were hopping out, so I extended it. That's all I did. You literally take a look at the differences between each of my bases. I was doing it to solve a problem. So, this one I had a problem. This one I started to solve the problem by giving more space in here, by cutting away walls and extended stuff. Then here, I started finishing off the solution to the problem. And then here, I actually got to the real solution of the problem. Bumpers. The only solution there is. That's the only way to keep you ranged in the base. Otherwise, they love to hop out. Bumpers. And then to the final solution, right here. There's the steps. There's why I did each and every single one of the steps that I did, and I was testing it on my Smurf first. I could see how he made it, I believe, through his iterations, because that snake one there looks like it wouldn't work so well. It looks like it wouldn't work so well. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but that's how he started off with the corner idea. And then he moved to smaller pieces than larger, and then, but this is the earliest that he had for a hat for the corner. So this person had it first. I know that people had it back in the day when it was just J was the highest. So a corner is not a new idea. Zigzags are not a new idea. What had the most influence on me was this right here. And this right here. These are the 2 things that had the most influence on me on building my base. This is exactly how I came about building this. Every step along the way. You see it? I was talking about doing exactly what I did as soon as I first saw this video. So you can look at my videos and see me talking about I'm going to go back to using my heart base. I'm going to put something on top. That's what I did. That's what I did. That's what I did. I made it more like a diamond. That's all I did. So the people who made the diamond bases had influence on me as well. And then all I did was use a smaller diamond and a larger diamond, and that solved that problem because I used this guy's idea for the front of the base, for the middle of the base, because it was also very similar to my idea that I had long time ago. People, Boxes are also not that original. Many people have came up with box ideas. Box ideas are extremely not original as well. There's so many people who came up with box ideas. Box ideas, lots of them are iterations. In other words, one person building off another person, building off another person, building off another person, building off another person, building off another person. This corner base is the exact same thing. One person building off another person, building off another person, building off another person, building off another person, building off another person. I was building off of this person. So, once again, if Instant Karma, if that's you, congrats. You influenced me. Congrats. You did influence me if that is you. If this is you, you influenced me. You're correct. But if it's not, sorry, you didn't. I'm sorry. The only reason why I extended the walls was to solve a problem. That problem was them hopping out. Tried it here, that didn't solve it. Tried it here, that did solve it. Then I went back to the heart. That's the path I took. That's the reason why I took it. And you can see why I utilize it. Because my heroes no longer aggro anything that's out here. So if something spawns here and it gets in aggro range of my hero, like a druid will not then go and hop the wall. Druid will stay here because they're either coming through this side and druid will just go here and turret. Or if they go on this side, if they're down here and they spawned over here and they went through this side, druid will go here and shoot, 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 shoot. So, this is why I made the base design. This is how I made it. This is the thoughts behind it. You can see my old version. You can see my new version. And you can see every step from this to this. So, there you go. That's why I made my base. That's how I made my base. Those are the thoughts behind making the base. That's exactly every step from there to there. Sorry. If you're that particular person, then yes, you deserve congrats. If you're not this person, you don't deserve congrats. Also, Blue-Panda deserves a little bit of congrats because I watch his videos and he's showing me a whole bunch of different base designs. And in his is where him scrolling through the base designs gave me the idea for the one that I was going to be using. So, congrats to this person, congrats to this person. And if any person designed this before him, congrats to them. That's literally what it came down to. So, from what I can tell, it does not look like Instant Karma had anything to do with my design choices. Definitely did not have anything to do with leading to this. So, sorry. Unless you are this person. If you're this person, then congrats. If not, sorry. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. You feel like you're the first person to make a design. Most people are trying these corner setups where a lot of this stuff was used in the old ones. And I'm going to go find some old ones as well for giggle factors to show you old school corner setups and how they were similar to this. Not similar to this, because I don't think too many people were using bumpers, because bumpers is, I think, the only solution to it. I think the only time people were using bumpers is when they were using the cloverleaf. Do you remember bumpers in the cloverleaf? That was the same problem that happened with cloverleaf. The only solution to that was putting bumpers. And that's sort of why Leroy deserves some credit as well. I don't know if Leroy was the one that came up with bumpers, but he's the one who came up with cloverleaf, and a lot of people used his cloverleaf, and some of the people that used his cloverleaf used bumpers. I think Leroy used bumpers in his cloverleaf as well. I could be mistaken, but that's basically how the bumper idea came to be. The extending of this is something that I did on lots of my bases when I wanted it to pretend like it had actually more walls when it didn't. And the reason why you're pretending is because your circle's here. You don't want them to get anywhere near your circle. So that's why I do the pretend bump there. The zigzag. Zigzag, so many people have done it. The hat. The hat, the top to this was used by, I believe, a lot of people that did, like I said, a lot of people that were using like a diamond kind of setup at a lower level used something like this. So these pieces all individually have been made a long time ago all by themselves. The heart lanes, the bumpers, the extenders, the front of the base, the back of the base, the innards of the base have all been used like a year ago. So anyone who thinks that each one of these parts by themselves is a brand new idea, they're not. It's the recipe together. So this to this. Does it look similar to you? Does anyone see how I made it from this base to this base? Does everyone see the iterations that I did between and where I got my inspiration from? And how I ultimately solved the problem that I was trying to solve when I extended the corners. So I tried extending the corners to solve the problem. Didn't solve the problem, but it made it better. Did the bumpers to solve the problem? That did. Oh, Jesus. Bumpers are awesome. And then bumpers with lanes are even better. Because what I wanted from the get-go was the lanes. Why did I want the lanes? The same reason why I had the lanes forever ago. This right here, having Druid park his butt right there was so overpowered. Oh God, it was so overpowered. Druid would just park there and just shoot, 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 shoot. Spirit Mage would float his butt right here and just shoot, 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 shoot. I would get so much time on the boss. The boss back in the day was just the dino, and it would give me so much time. And the exact same thing happens in this setup now. Exact same thing. The only thing that's different between this and this is bumpers to solve the problem with hopping the wall because my hero bases were a lot lower at the time. And then a cap. Now, this person is saying I took their cap, probably, or maybe that's the only part of the base that they say that they have a problem with is the cap. Well, the cap initially started off as this. Then changed to this. Then went to this due to space constraints and due to wall constraints. So that's the iterations that it took to get to there. I went for a 3 thick in the back, and you went for a 2 thick in the back. So if that's what you're saying I took from you, well, no, I didn't, because unfortunately people that use diamond setups, which this is more a reference to and a reference of, the lower level diamonds use something similar to this. And that's where I got the butt of the base from, is lower level diamonds. And I will show that as well later if I need to, but there you guys go. That's each and every single one of my steps going from back in January to now. So, alrighty. And no, not only that, back from a year ago to now. So, really, this, if you want to claim that this is because of you, go right ahead. I can show each and every single one of the steps that I did and why. Can you tell me why your base in the back, they can break through while they cannot break through mine? Strange. Strange indeed. Strange indeed. Mine, for some reason, they don't break through. His, for some reason, they do. I can tell you why, because it's not 3 thick. It needs to be 3 thick. Otherwise, they will break through. So, there you go. And also, the placement of this right here becomes a problem. But that's fine. No, it's fine. If you take a peek at my design and his design on the insides, they're different. There are differences. They're similar, but you know what? Both his and my inside are similar to this. And this inside is similar to mine from a year ago. That's right. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do. Since back in January when, you know, the corner bases were becoming a big thing, I was talking about what I was going to do. And I did exactly what I said I was going to do. A corner base, like my heart base, with something on top. And there's the exact steps that I took to get to this. So you can see every single step along the way. If you want to say one of the steps along the way looks like yours, fine, whatever. But it didn't come from you. It came from another person. So that person should get the credit, not you. Unless that person is you. And if it is, congrats. If it's not, sorry. All right. Have a good ones, guys. Have a good ones. Ranted long enough. But some people are trying to troll me, but they think that they know best. But apparently they don't. Or maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that person is them. I just don't think it is. I don't think that person is them. But if it is, congrats. You did influence me. But if that's not you, sorry, you didn't.